What's up, everyone? I'm James.
And I'm Kelly.
And welcome back to Review It. Long time no see. This is something that you're not going to see a lot of, I guess, but it may happen every now and then. Just keep in mind, before we actually get into this, we are seeing movies every single week. Every week we are seeing something. Now, whether we can actually get together and review them is a whole different story, but we are seeing movies every single week. But the problem that we've run into the past couple of weeks is finding a location, finding time, the weather.
Forgetting memory cards. Sorry.
Yeah, the weather being just right. You know, there's a lot of factors that kind of just didn't agree with us the past few weeks. So this video is essentially like 5 reviews wrapped in together, and we are going to speed round through these things as fast as possible just to kind of get you guys updated so you know that we are still seeing movies and we are still reviewing them. We're not just taking a really long break. We're not just being silent. We are still doing these.
She said to me, forget what you thought. Give good girls or bad girls and haven't been gone. So just turn around and forget what you thought.
And keep in mind, the first review that we're going to do is The Boy Next Door. We actually filmed that review, but it was so windy outside that you could not hear anything we were saying, so we couldn't use the footage. So we filmed it, but it just did not work out the way we wanted it to.
Yeah, and that one was a lot more in-depth than what you're going to get right now. We went through all the movies that we've seen that we haven't been able to review, and we've done it kind of like the plus and minus system that I would do with the tweets last year and the year before. We're just going to read off those pluses and minuses as quick as possible to get through them.
It's kind of like a 30-second round. You're just trying to go through them and fly through them. It's just like mini reviews.
Yeah,
we've got 4 movies that we're going to be reviewing for you guys in this video.
Right. There's 3 that you and me both saw together, and then there's 1 that I saw by myself that you have not seen.
Right.
So let's get into it. Do you want to start off with Boy Next Door?
I will start off with Boy Next Door. So the first movie that we are reviewing is The Boy Next Door. This is main star Jennifer Lopez. So my pros to this movie were the storyline was very intriguing, and the main villain guy, the guy who plays the main character in Step Up Revolution, he was in this movie as the main villain. He was hot. That was the only good thing I can really say about him though. And cons for this movie. The acting sucked. It was just all over the place. The action scenes were all over the place and just not well executed. Like, the story could have been very good, but the action scenes were not well executed. The story was not very well executed. The character development was awful. Like, there was people that were just very bipolar, it seemed like, because we didn't understand their characters enough. And it had a very cliche ending, and I was not happy with that. I would prefer more intense ending, I believe. So my review for this movie is it's the bottom of the barrel, 2 out of 5. Did not really care for it. Right.
So let me just get this out of the way. I absolutely hated this movie. It was abysmal. It was terrible. It is awful. It is, oh my god, bad. So, real quick, it's a good idea behind it, I guess. Now the negatives. Poor acting, horrible villain, abysmal character development, no suspense at all. Oh yeah, and that final act, it is big explosions just for the sake of being that. Does it actually matter? Not at all. Do you care what's going on? Not at all. You don't care about anything that's going on in this movie from beginning to end. It sucks, it's terrible, avoid it like a plague, 1 out of 5, get out.
Done.
Done. Next movie we're going to get into is Project Almanac. We actually talked about this one when we reviewed Wedding Ringer. We said this was going to come up soon, but sorry, we just it was raining really badly that day and we just did not have a location to film. So we're going to get into that one real quick. This one is actually a lot better than Boy Next Door, and it is actually a lot better than we thought it was going to be going in. This movie was supposed to come out in March of last year, and somehow ended up not coming out until January 30th of 2015. So, with all that being said, good thing, it's a pretty cool time travel plot. It's actually pretty good, pretty interesting. There's a lot of cool little things about the time travel, and for the most part, it doesn't, you know, go too stupid at any point. Next thing, the found footage. Yes, I know, we are all tired of the found footage stuff, but I'm going to tell you, in this movie, it actually works. And there's a point in the movie where I realized, okay, I actually understand the choice to go found footage here. Next thing, the acting. It's pretty good. Some of it's really good, some of it's, you know, okay for a found footage movie. The ending. I actually really enjoyed the ending. Some people didn't care much for it, but I really liked it because it's not a cut to black, leaving you in confusion ending like the Paranormal Activity movies. Highly enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was clear. You know what's going on. And it was pretty cool for a time travel movie. Now the negatives. There's a few slow moments. There's some times where the movie kind of lulls and drags around. And another thing, it's hard to really care about every single character in the cast. You only care about one or two of them because the other ones are just kind of cannon fodder, even though they don't die. Nobody really dies.
No, that's true.
Okay.
But I guess it's not that kind of movie.
Right. And my rating for that one is it is worth the price of admission, which is essentially a 4 out of 5.
Okay, so for me, I pretty much agree with everything that James said. I think me and him very much were on the same wavelength with this movie. Plus, it's a very cool idea. I love the time travel aspect of it, and it surprised me. I went into this movie with low expectations, and it just shocked me at how good it was compared to my expectations. It was very well executed with the film footage. Like he said, the film footage can suck, and this one was just done very well, and it made sense to what the movie was trying to do.
Speaking of low expectations, you know, it's hard to go into a movie, sit down, and not have your expectations lowered by like 75% when Michael Bay's name shows up on the screen anywhere at all. If his name
I didn't
shows
even
up,
think about that either.
Yeah, I think you produced it. But yeah, if his name shows up, you need to start getting worried.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Also, I think I liked is the ending, again, was very straightforward, very understandable. You knew what was going on. You know where the movie would continue to go if it kept playing. And it doesn't make you feel like there's going to be a sequel. And that is something that a lot of directors do, is they create the sequel ending, make you feel like there's going to be another movie when maybe you just don't need another movie. The only negative I really had is, again, like he said, some of the characters were just kind of meh. You didn't really care that much about them, but you did care about some of them, so it wasn't like a total flop. So all in all, I would give this movie worth the price of admission, also a 4 out of 5.
Alright, the next one is one that I saw by myself. It is SpongeBob. SpongeBob Squarepants, the movie, the sequel to the 2005 movie. And let me tell you, if you're a SpongeBob fan out there, it is fantastic. It's awesome. It's hilarious. It is an acid trip gone wild, and it is fun. It is such a funny movie. It is SpongeBob, classic SpongeBob. It's just like the old movies. It's just like the old episodes. Like, you know, after a while they started getting way more stupid and way more kid-friendly, but the first few episodes are kind of a little bit more kind of on the boundary of whether it's okay for kids or not. The movie is a little bit more like that, and I really enjoyed it. Good thing, it's funny. From the very beginning to the very end, it's hilarious. The animation is awesome. And as I said before, it's very similar to the older episodes, so it's not just for kids. There's a few jokes that kids will not get, and that was great. I have one more positive thing, but I'll save that to the end because it's hilarious. The CGI scene on land, which you can see in the trailer, is actually not that bad. Some people complained about it. I didn't think it was that bad at all. I thought the story behind that CGI section was kind of dumb, but the animation of how they look on real land was kind of cool. Speaking of the on-land segment, the major flaw with this movie is Antonio Banderas is playing a pirate of some sorts on land, and he's awful. His character's bad, stupid. And by the end of the movie, there's a lot of plot holes that you start to realize. So, I mean, with all that being said, it has a couple flaws, but it is still a good movie. It's not better than the first SpongeBob movie, so I'm going to give it a worth the price of admission. Now, to get to what I was talking about earlier, is that for those of you who remember the Lego movie from last year, the review had the Everything is Awesome song that is like the best song of ever. SpongeBob has its own very catchy song, and I have it. I'm going to play it briefly. Yeah! Yeah! Stay with us before we melt. Yeah!
I clearly can't take him seriously very often.
Yeah! Okay, then just cut to the next thing.
We go to the very end of the video. So that was fun. So the next movie that we went and saw was Jupiter Ascending. And Jupiter Ascending was just a flop completely. The only good thing about it is the visual effects were awesome. We saw it in the IMAX theater at our theater, which is the first time we've ever used this theater, and it was fantastic. It was so cool to see the visual effects like this. Also, something that I enjoyed was Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum. I love anything Channing Tatum comes in. I mean, who wouldn't? Look at him. So yeah, I enjoyed them in it, but you know, that's about it for it. My issues were it was a very scattered plot. You just did not know where it was going 90% of the time, and I didn't know what was going on a lot of the time, so that was a big problem. Also, a lot of the characters did have bad acting. Like, you had a few that were good, but for the most part, they just were not good at all. And also you...
How
What was
about
the other
that
one?
villain?
Oh,
He
no,
was
True
wheezing like a lung cancer patient.
He sounded like Voldemort from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like, I actually had to say, was this the guy who played Voldemort?
No.
I mean, and it wasn't. I don't know what they were trying to do with that. But also, there was just no true direction as far as the villains are concerned. Like, there was too many villains to really know how we were supposed to feel about it.
And there was only 2.
Yeah.
And when there's only 2 villains and you're saying there's too many, that's a problem.
That is a huge issue because some people you're just like, were they supposed to be a villain or not? You don't really know. So my rating for this is bottom of the barrel, 2 out of 5. I would never watch it again, and I probably wouldn't ask anybody else to watch it again.
Right, let me get right on into this. While our ratings are the same, bottom of the barrel, I hated Jupiter Ascending. I did not give it a 1 simply because Boy Next Door was worse.
Yes.
But Jupiter Ascending, you know, it's from the Wachowskis. They made The Matrix. So if you like The Matrix, I don't really like The Matrix. I think it's overrated. But if you like The Matrix, hey, that's all great for you. But let me tell you something about Jupiter Ascending. The potential on this movie was out of this world. And when we originally had planned to do like a full review of this movie, oh man, it was going to be a rant. For real.
Right, yeah.
Like, this movie could have been something fantastic. And it was awful. The visuals are wonderful. They're ahead of its time. The Wachowskis are great at that. They're also great at creating unique worlds. They're great at making these crazy worlds that just have story that you really want to get into.
And the worlds were very, like, I did enjoy that. The world to me was very cool.
Right. However, let me tell you the weakness of the Wachowskis. They are unable to create compelling characters that you even care about. They are also unable to make a plot that is cohesive, that works, and is not muddled with holes, inconsistencies, and contradictions. And another problem with the movie, there's a lack of focus. Like, for one thing, you see Mila Kunis on the front poster, and you're thinking, oh, main female lead, this is going to be like empowering to women. Guess what? No, because a lot of times guys are saving her. Another thing, is the movie clear on where it's going or what's going on? Absolutely not. There are 2 villains in this movie, actually 3. But one of them gets about 5 minutes of time for you to actually understand if they're a villain or not, and it leaves you in complete question of what? And that character never comes into play later. There's another villain that the movie spends 40 minutes on that you don't care. There's the final villain that is introduced to you from the beginning. You don't care about any of it because they're so poorly developed. Everything about this movie is terrible except for the great visuals, and it is better than Boy Next Door. So I'm going to give it bottom of the barrel, 2 out of 5. Man, this movie sucks, but it is better than Boy Next Door.
Yeah, so
I have to give it that.
That should tell you a little bit about Boy Next Door.
Yeah.
Alright guys, so that is all the movies that we are reviewing on this video. Y'all can expect more of these because there are going to be times where we just see too many movies to do a review for every single one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen, so just kind of be prepared for it, and just constantly, subscribe to the Review It channel, and make sure to come back and check every now and then because there will be things coming up. And we are going to do more videos throughout the year. We're going to start doing new series, cool things. We're kind of brainstorming a lot of stuff. We could bring back the ones from last year, but I don't know. We're kind of thinking about some other stuff. We're doing a lot of brainstorming, and eventually we will come out with a lot of other cool stuff. So make sure to subscribe to Review It because you don't want to miss out. And
we're trying to just adjust to different locations, too.
Yeah.
We're trying to find a permanent location to film. I think we may have found one that's going to last for a good while, so I think we're good now. But, yeah, we're still in the process of figuring all this stuff out.
Yeah. So. But we are definitely more dedicated this year than we were last year. We are going to make sure that this year, every single movie that we see will be, the review for every one of them will be filmed.
Yes.
They may not be on time, they may be late, they may be a couple weeks late, even a month late in the case of Boy Next Door. If that happens, though, we apologize, but we will try to get these things out, and we are going to review every single movie that we see. We are going to do videos of them, whether they are on their own or just coupled with a bunch of others. That remains to be seen. Yep. But we will do all of this. And at the end of the year, it's going to be much better when we do our best and worst because then you'll actually be able to go back and watch the reviews and understand how we felt about them.
That is true. So, yeah, make sure, again, you subscribe, like, comment down below and let us know which one of these movies you liked, which ones you didn't like. Did you hate any like we did? Yeah. All that good stuff.
Or do you hate us for hating a movie that you liked?
Don't hate us.
Don't hate us.
That's rude.
You can hate her, but don't hate me.
Nah, that's rude. I'm the cute one.
Yeah!
Okay. You would just go, yeah.
Yeah!
I need to calm down. Okay, okay. Yeah.
Somebody's knocking.
I think it's them.
Why would they knock?
I think they're planning some, they're scheming in there. We're with a bunch of our friends and
Yeah.
I think they're in there scheming some stuff.
Either that or we're just being too loud for the people above us. Squeeze man.